Hello everybody, how's it going today? Today we're going to be playing some RimWorld. Life's been a little bit hectic lately, and I've been thinking about Stationaires, and I'm not going to be abandoning that. I'm going to get back to that, but I wanted to play something a little different and give me a little bit of variety with the limited time that I do have to play video games. So we're going to be starting a RimWorld save today. It's been a while since I touched the game, and I kind of want to start anew and branch out in a new direction, so we're going to go ahead and get into that. So we'll go ahead and make a new colony. We're going to be starting off with a Lost Tribe colony. As far as difficulty goes in RimWorld, I would say this pretty much follows it. With this being the easiest, and then as you make your way down, I would say the difficulty slightly increases until you get to Naked Brutality. There's a very high difficulty spike. The difference between these two is kind of really flavor-based, so to speak. You start off with less colonists here, but you get easier technology long-term throughout the game. Whereas this one, you get more people to start with, but it's harder to research, and you start out with lower technology, and it's harder to get more technology. But it's the one I enjoy playing, so we'll go ahead and start with that. We're going to play Randy Ruff. It's been a while since I touched the game, and I've played through on medium. And while there was the challenge, I'm looking for something with a higher failure rate. Keep the risk there of if I make mistakes, I could potentially lose at any time. And I am playing with mods, so I'm going to do reload anytime. I'm not going to use this to save scum or anything, but in case I do have mod issues, which are fairly rare with this game, but I'd like the ability to go back if there's a mod issue that needs to be addressed. We're going to randomize our seed here, and forest sounds good to me. We'll make it 50% coverage. We're going to leave these two alone. So we're going to generate our world. So we're going to be looking for a boreal forest to play in. I used to play, I want to say it was Tropical Rainland, which had a year-round growing season. But I'm looking for something a little more four-season, and boreal forest seems to be the next step from a all-year growing season to a four-season climate. And what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for somewhere in a boreal forest that has a decent number of settlements nearby. Not necessarily even a road, but just a decent number of settlements in the vicinity that we could use to trade with. And it doesn't look like this seed really does it for me, so we're gonna do a couple more randomizations. We'll generate again. Okay. See, now this right here looks much more interesting to me. We have cold bogs nearby, but we also have boreal forest along a road with, the four actual tribes that you can do limited diplomacy with, and then obviously the people who will hate you forever and always. So there's none of those people around, but we have the green, yellow, purple, and blue, 3 purples, 2 blues, a yellow, and really, a decent amount of greens in the area. So let's see if I can find what I like. I'd like somewhere that has marble as the primary stone, closer onto this road if possible. But it doesn't really, there's one. So we have that one there, or we could go there. What about over here? Yeah, I think we'll go here. In between these two seas along the road here, so that way we have easy access to trade or fight or whatever along these people and these people here. Let's just take a quick look at the rest of the world though, just for giggles. Man, these people are really far north up there. So I don't know exactly what we're going to be doing with this world yet, but we are going to be playing on it, so we'll see how things develop over time. So before we select the site, we're going to move it to a large 300 by 300 starting season. We're going to click on auto. We're going to go next. And now we're going to look at our tribes people. And so with the mods I have, some of the mods I have gives me an overview of my team skills down here. So we're going to cherry pick somewhat, randomizing these people, but we're not going to go too far into it. So let's look here. He's got malnutrition. He's a jogger, beautiful, cannibal, good medical, and a bunch of other minor skills. He's got good cooking. So I think we'll keep him. Nothing really to note on him. I don't really. Quick sleeper is nice. But besides that, I'm not really too interested in him. Not really too interested in him. We have green. I think we will swap out him for green. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and randomize here. Mining, artistic. Nudist, great memory. Pretty. Burning passion in those two. I think we're gonna randomize. We're gonna keep him. So bring it up. We're gonna keep these two here. I think we'll keep him. Because I want to kind of randomize and get a decent assortment, but not too much here. A bloodlust psychopath, 28. I think we'll keep him and her. Gonna randomize her. So this kind of is my overview of my 5 now. You know, I got one person with a shooting of 11 and a burning passion. I got a constructor with a burning passion cooking, but the rest we're just gonna move on with it. So we have cat will be mining and making art for us, which is a decent combination. Getting the stone and using the stone for art. Green will be our shooting and our planter. We have gray here who will be our cook, and possibly also our early game doctor. We have Ram who will be shooting and animals, which will be a good hunter combo. And we have Scout here, which is mainly going to be construction, but she'll also be doing some mining. So we're going to go ahead and start. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the map when the map loads, and I'm going to take a look around and see where we want to set up base camp and quickly get all of our supplies and pets moved over there. Looks like one of my mods updated. And this is just the message you get when you start tribal. You can pause the video now if you'd like to read it. So we're going to pause. And we're going to kind of see what's going on here. So it looks like this world has a lot of slate. Kind of getting a decent overview of the map. So yeah, I mean, this would look like the ideal place to set up camp into here. We can start with a wall here and then eventually put a wall here. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll put on a stockpile zone here, and then just move everything on over there. So now let's look at our pets. So we started with a Labrador Retriever, a Broom Rat, and a Red Fox. And I will be keeping all these. These are actually all pretty good animals, and plus they all have bonds. And I'd hate to break those bonds. And granted, at the beginning of the game is the best time to do it because your colonist will get a initial optimism, which can almost overcome the bond break. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that everyone's moving around. And let us look. Let's look at our skills here. So Ram has top shooting followed by Green. And I'm going to say Green because he's got a passion, whereas Tecumseh, she has a 6 as well, but she doesn't have a passion, so we're going to focus on the other two mainly. So let's go ahead and give Ram our best weapon, which it looks like is going to be either one of the short bows. It doesn't really matter. So we'll give him a short bow. We will give Green a short bow. And we'll give the Pila to Tecumseh. And then the other two will just be given spears and stuff. So orders, we're going to haul urgently all this stuff. Oh. We don't want these being hauled. We don't need to haul those away, that's just gonna waste time for us. And we're going to remove the automatic home zone expansion. However, we are going to expand our home zone into this area. And sure, you know, I could make it cleaner looking, but we're just gonna do that. Put all the animals into the home zone. Bring them on down. So while they're doing that, let's look at some other features. We have a steam geyser up here. I mean, it seems like we're fairly limited on steam geysers. And it seems like we have a steam geyser close to the base over here. One to the south, one here, one here. Okay, so we have 6 steam geysers, it would appear, maybe 7 if I didn't count one. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start with a wall. And we're gonna come bring it out like this. And we're gonna put a wooden door in. And then we're gonna come out to, say, here. And up here like that. And we're gonna have to put a copy in, so we'll put that in here. And while we do that, we'll put in an order to chop some of this wood down and some of this wood out here. And also we're gonna look at our wildlife. And before we do look at the wildlife, we're going to look at our workflow. We're going to change it over to numbers. So everyone will prioritize being a firefighter and a patient. Gray is going to prioritize being a doctor. Cat will prioritize handling animals. But so will Ram. And also prioritize hunting. So actually, no. Cat will not work with the animals at all. She will construct and mine. We actually have a lot of miners, so we're going to look for burning passions here. Art and crafting will be her priority. Plant cut and growing. And you will also plant, cut, and grow. But constructing will be your number 2. We'll put it as number 2. You're going to cook. And yeah, it turns out we didn't get anybody with any good, decent social skill. So, we'll do that for now. Now we're going to designate ourselves a zone, but before we put that in, we're going to put in some tilled soil. This is a mod I have. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it at the moment. It seems somewhat overpowered. So we're going to play with it this playthrough, and then we're going to see how it works and if it really just removes the 4-season difficulty. But we're going to get a field of rice planted. And while that's going on, we have a lot of rabbits, a lot of rats, and a lot of squirrels. So we're going to go ahead and get some hunting going on with some of these rats. And so while they get hunting, we're going to quickly just dump down some sleeping locations. But at the same time, we're going to have them build another room. And we're going to have them build it right here will work for now. And in this room, we're going to put down a butcher table. We're actually going to mine that one out, so that way we can put it all the way up back there. We got furniture. We're going to put a lamp in here. It's 22 degrees outside, which is, it's totally fine. And we're going to be putting one of those in here as well. As well as a wooden butcher table. You know, getting some food going is really going to be a priority, seeing as we are going to quickly have problems with food if we don't. So we're going to add a build to butcher creatures forever. Any creature that dies, we'll butcher it. We already have a rat down. And he's already going to butcher. So we can't build the fueled stove, so we'll just go ahead and build a campfire. For right now, we'll build it outside because it is... Actually, we'll build it inside. Because it is December. Which means food really is going to be a priority for us here soon. We'll go ahead and accelerate through the night with them coming back. The game tells me we need warm clothes, and we'll get to that. And then we got rat meat out here that's sitting outside, which is not good. But it'll rot before it deteriorates anyway, so it's not really a huge concern of ours. Now with that done, we're gonna have them make simple meals until we have 5. Because we're gonna need some simple meals going on. And we're actually gonna build another stockpile zone right here. But this one is going to be a meals right in front of my face. So the meals will go there. And we'll go ahead and set this one to a preferred priority. And that way we will have some meals. And we need also another storage location. I want to bring the leather inside. So we'll just, this is eventually going to be transformed into a stockpile room. So we're going to put this stockpile to be a materials. What does that give us? General storage. And let's set it to preferred, and we'll see what they move over. Have a solar flare. That doesn't really hurt us at the moment. We will expand this zone to include those as well. Although psychic drone for our females, that's going to affect 2 of our colonists here. But not a huge concern. We have a dead fox. I'm going to assume it picked a fight with something that it shouldn't have, or something that was hungry picked a fight with it. Probably this wolf here, this timber wolf. Yep, that's what it would look like. So we could hunt that wolf, but we don't really have a point to. But we did receive an ambrosia sprout. And that's actually a pretty good sprout, so we're going to use a trick to keep this harvested. So we're going to put down a growing zone here that encompasses the ambrosia, and we're going to kind of min-max this to the best of our ability for the decreased maintenance. The thing is with these zones is it has to be continuous. So see how we just lost that one? We can't we can't have this one not touch this one. And the trick is here you disallow sowing. So they won't come up here and sow anything, but as these plants get ready to harvest, they will come harvest. So we have a hare getting killed by an Arctic fox. So we'll take that. We'll clean up after the fox. And we're going to start to look at, let's start to look at how we're going to lay out. I have a certain way I like to build rooms, corridors, I guess would be the word to say it with. And it looks a little something like this, where we will have a 6x6 outer shell, which leaves us with a 4x4 room. And then I'll have a door, or actually for these purposes, it'll be better like that. And the second one, and then little doors here with a 2 wide hallway, and then a similar layout on the other side. So really we just need to figure out how we want to build it. And I think into the mountain might be a good idea. That way we can leave this area to be our farming area for now. So we'll just start mining into the mountainside here. We'll just start with just that one wall, and then we'll kind of have to micromanage it a little bit. But I think we'll be able to manage it just fine. And as we carve into the mountain, we will be able to begin to build rooms out and move from there. So we're just going to time accelerate through the night. That ambrosia sprout is pretty close to us. So we're going to have her mine through there. We're going to accelerate time a little bit because there's not much going on. And so this is kind of something we have to be a little bit careful with because, you know, you make the mistake one time with the stone and that's it. You know, you can't replace the stone wall. I mean, you can build a stone wall, but that would be double the work to mine out a wall to replace it. However, that's probably what we're going to do for this first room here, would be to to really maximize the work we can get done. But I think, let me just kind of look here. If I did a 6x6 here, that's what it would look like. Or I put a 6x6 here. So we're going to set that up to mine right there. Or actually, hold on, what am I doing? We like it so that it kind of lines up with the door in the hallway. So where it would sit would be more or less along the lines of this here. Which means that we would need this to be our mine and that to be our room, as well as this here and that there, which means that the rest for that would need to be like that, and hopefully they don't trap themselves. Very strong possibility. Oh look, what do you know? I guess, nope. That's always fun. We're just gonna let him figure that one out. But we're gonna build a door on that. And then we're gonna put our first light down right about there. Sorry, right about. Really, we want to be there. And with the mod I have, I'm able to actually place it down like that. So he's went ahead and freed himself. He's figured it out. We'll put doors down. We're gonna need more wood, so let's see where we can micromanage some wood out of. I know I could be more efficient with these trees, but I'm not too concerned, if I'm being completely honest. We're gonna have to expand our home. Actually, our home zone does encompass the rooms already. So those are cleaned. I can't put that one down for the life of me. There. And we're gonna deconstruct 2 of these. As well as we're gonna put in orders from the mine some more. Which arguably might not be the smartest thing for me to be doing right now, but it'll work. And we're gonna put another stockpile down. We're just gonna put it right about here for now. Actually, we're gonna put it here because this is unusable ground for farming. And we're gonna try to maximize what we can farm. And our storage is gonna be outside materials, which will only allow us to put things out here that will not suffer penalties from being out in the weather. Like the wood will deteriorate outside, but the granite will not. And we're gonna look at hunting some more rats. Go ahead, we'll designate all the rats to be hunted, as they're kind of our lowest food source item. So now let's do this. This is gonna put us in a nice loading screen here. But we're gonna take a look at our technology tree, our research. And I have a mod that kind of cleans up the tech tree and makes it more readable for when you have a lot of mods. So this is what it looks like zoomed out with the mods that I have. Some of these mods I have, some of them you'll probably recognize, probably most of them honestly you'll recognize. One of them's terrain rehabilitation, some sort of doors, blast doors. I don't have Rimatonics, but I have more furnitures and things of that nature, as well as I have Rimatomics and Rimifeller, which is the oil and nuclear reactor uranium technology mods, as well as more guns and more turrets, and then these robots here, which they seem to be quite a bit overpowered. I don't know how I feel about them, because it seems like once we get later in the game, people are, I mean, I could get rid of my colonists and just survive off of robots. Get rid of all colonists and put them in somewhat of a utopian society, which would be interesting, where they just don't work and all they do is they sit around and are taken care of by the robots, and that's kind of an interesting little concept. But also I have advanced bionics. Some of these are pretty strong, some of them are not super overpowered. I was playing with the Glitter Tech mod, and which is not this mod here, but with the Glitter Tech mod there was some really, just in general that mod was overpowered. My last playthrough I was playing, I had that mod installed, and it came down to either you had their weapons or you lost. There was no balance with it. It was just extremely overpowered, and I could have tinkered with it and brought it back down to earth, so to speak, but I figured I would just remove that and see how the gameplay goes now that I have to consider that I will need to actually pay attention to what weapons I need rather than, you know, only having 4. We're going to expand that a little bit. Hopefully they'll haul some of this stuff into it. And we can put a bed in. And being that we're about to enter winter, or we're actually in summer. Oh yeah, I forget because we're towards the equator. So we are in summer, so we don't need to worry about the campfire being inside. But it's fine, I think. Let's look. They might complain about it. Yeah, they're complaining about it. But they'll figure it out. We'll put that in. I want to see what they're thinking. Slept on ground, slept in the heat, pain, awful barracks. Ugly environment. So if we look at the stats of some of these rooms, you know, slightly dirty. So the rooms aren't terrible. They need slags. The stone slags need to be gotten rid of. So we will go ahead and because this should be ready to accept them. I believe. No, it is not. We'll go ahead and we'll allow stone chunks here. And then we'll give them orders to haul all these. So that way they're no longer in there. We're looking good on food. We haven't been raided yet, so that's always a good thing. And we're going to time accelerate through the night. Got a nice steel deposit here. Okay, so we got our names here. Let's... The Embry or the Delta, sure, and Orange Sound. That sounds good to me. I'm not too paranoid or concerned with the whole faction names. We'll remove that. And really, we just need one more of these. It's gonna be... We'll just go ahead and do that. With all this extra wood we're going to have, we should look into using it, put it in some use. So what we'll do is we'll put a table in here, and we're actually out of meals, and we'll put some chairs. So this mod here is quality build, so it'll only let these items be built by a builder with my best skill, and I can customize what setting I want that to be. So that way I don't have to worry about... I'll get the best chance of getting the best quality furniture rather than having a novice constructor coming in to do that. And we're also going to need to expand our home zone, so we're just going to expand it to probably about there. Information. Oh, this is for, I believe this is for defense positions. Miscellaneous colonist groups. I'm actually not sure what this is for. So we need some recreation. That's what we need. So we'll put down an archery target, and we'll put it down right about there because it doesn't really matter. And then we'll also put down a game. Actually, we'll just stick with the archery target for now. We're gonna deconstruct both of these. Put another one of these in. We're gonna build a copy of this here. And in that room there. So now everybody has their own rooms. So then the next thing will be to start polishing the stone and making the rooms look better. And in that effort, we're going to look here. We have an artist with a burning passion, Cat. And we're going to want to stoke that skill. But before we do that, we're going to want to get into making stone sculptures. Because we could use wood. We have a decent amount of wood, but that doesn't mean that I really want to use wood. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put down a simple research bench. And for now we're going to put it there, and they'll automatically mine that corner that needs to be mined. And we'll give it a chair. We're going to haul that stone out of there as well. Now, is anybody assigned to tend the animals? Yes. And I think that's where we'll cut this episode off tonight. We'll pick back up tomorrow, and we'll keep moving forward. So today we got our little colony set up. Everybody has their own room. Food is somewhat stable. We have a large amount of wildlife for this map, a very large amount. So, but we do have winter, our first winter approaching. It's not close yet, but it'll be here before we know it. So we definitely need to make sure we can somehow get some food stashed and ready to go for winter. We're going to get this research table built next episode, and we'll go down and we're going to get into stone cutting, which I have to remember where that is. Unless we shouldn't already have it. I've probably already looked at it 3 times because that's how I go. Nope, yep, I have. It's right here. Stone cutting. That'll be the first research we get into. But until next time, guys, take it easy.